8:19 this morning. Lots of talk about that record Mega Millions jackpot. $1.6 billion up for grabs. Not really up for grabs because it's almost impossible to win. Office pools make the odds about that much better. Still almost impossible. Joining me here to talk about it all, Michael Treiberg with Treiberg Wealth Management. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So getting in an office pool, you get more tickets to go into this thing. But even if there's a winning ticket, whether it's $10 or whatever, questions about how it's split. And there's really a lot of issues that come up with office pools.
Yeah, absolutely. The main thing is you've got to have something in writing. Even if it's really basic, just to state what percentage goes to whom. It's really, really important, or else you could end up in court. It's also really a good idea to make copies of the tickets. If there's one person in the office that's doing it, make copies, distribute to everybody, have something scribbled that can just take a minute, but that can really save a big headache down the road.
And a lot of people think it's just, here's $5, let's see what happens. But it's so much more complicated than that.
Oh, it is indeed. It is indeed, because after the fact, if there's a winner and there are people that come in late and they try to figure out who gets what, when we're talking about a big pot of money, lawyers get involved, it becomes a completely different scenario.
And that's what I wanted to ask you about. You know, this jackpot has spilled over so many times. If someone wants to join in now, when you've had this pool going for a couple of months, now is not the time to let them in.
Yeah, that's typically the big issue, is when latecomers come in, because people who've been part of it usually roll any winnings over. Really, the best thing to do is to either not allow latecomers, or have a separate pool for those latecomers, or to specifically spell it out exactly what their percentage is, and maybe require them to put a little bit more money in to cover, to make it even.
So given the low odds of winning anything, if you have one ticket or 10 tickets, is it best to stay away from the pools and just do it yourself?
Well, yeah, good point. Let's be realistic. The odds are terrible. We're looking at 1 in 302 million to win. So, but at the same time, in office pools, it can be kind of fun, build some camaraderie if we're not talking about a large dollar amount. But no, the odds are not good by any means.
So this is where I'm at. The jackpot is ridiculous. It's almost $2 billion. I don't play very often. Given the history of this, and you know, there's no chance, but there is that much of a chance. Do you take that money and invest it and put it into like a 529 plan, or do you just try it, just say you did?
Well, certainly playing the lottery is not a good investment. It never is, never will be. However, if you view it as entertainment, fun, something like going to the movies, spending $5 or $10, or buying a cup of coffee, and you can get some enjoyment out of it, go for it.
And then very quickly, say you win, not the jackpot, but like something. It's important to save that ticket.
Oh, absolutely. There are a couple of things. First of all, save the ticket. It's like cash. Until you actually sign it and turn it in, it's like cash. So you want to make sure and save that ticket. You also want to seek professional advice. And the main thing is, if you can, try to stay anonymous. That can be difficult. It's not as easy as you might think, but it can be done. So try to stay anonymous if you do win.
Because if you're not anonymous, the relatives from 1850
they come out of the woodwork.
Exactly.
Right.
All right, let's take a live look at the New York Stock Exchange. A rough morning on the Dow. It's a little better than it's been. The Dow's still down about 370 points. Since I have you here, I want to ask about this. Corporate earnings, a big part of this. We've seen a lot of fluctuation, hundreds down, hundreds up. If I'm an investor, what am I doing?
Yeah, the main thing is to stick to your plan. And whatever that is, if it's a well thought out plan, stay to that. Don't make reactionary decisions based on short-term swings in the market. We've got a big drop today just because of some disappointing earnings from a couple of companies, but the most important thing to be a successful investor is to maintain your long-term goals.
And avoid those knee-jerk reactions when
you
see days like this. All right, Michael Treiberg, great to see you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
More on this a little bit later on at TucsonNewsNow.com. It is 8:19. We'll be right back.